Hello everybody, I'm Stephanie. I'm so glad to be with you today. We're going to be taking a little bit of movement in our bodies to kind of help boost our immune systems, give it that little extra oomph. So join me on your mat wherever you're at. Beginning with the breath. It always seems to be where we're beginning and ending, but coming back to that breath, that union between the body and the mind. And if ever there was a time that we needed to take a deep breath, it is now. I'm sure that your week has been crazy just as mine has been, as we're learning to navigate through these new times together. And one thing that is happening that I'm noticing that is very common across the board is that emotions are running high. And when emotions are running high, sometimes we choose not to be our best selves. So we need to kind of take this collective breath together and really calm our nervous system down. So taking a few moments here, just wherever you're at, closing the eyes, breathing in through the nose to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and out through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling through the nose and out through the nose. One more in the inhale, filling up as much as you can. And exhale, pulling belly button into spine. Just noticing the effect that has taken on your mental state, on your body, just to kind of slow things down for a moment. And then we're going to bring the hands together at heart center. So we're bringing the palms to a Namaste Mudra, a Namaskar. And this hand position has so much more meaning than just throwing away that namaste that we say at the end of yoga class. Namaste, literally translated from Sanskrit, means the light or the goodness in me honors the light or the goodness in you. And at a time when we're sometimes choosing not to be our best selves, we need to take a step back and really see what we're doing, how we're responding to ourselves, how we're responding to others, and realizing that we're all going through this together. So looking for the goodness in people. So just breathing here for a few more moments, hands together at heart center, in through the nose and out through the nose. One more, inhale and exhale. Just really honoring that namaste, bringing some compassion into our lives and into other people's lives. We're going to begin to find some movement in the body and finding a seated cat-cow. So on your inhale, arms are going to reach up overhead. And then on your exhale, cactus the arms, keep reaching up, up, up through the spine. And then forward through the heart. So you're taking a little back bend. Chin is going to reach up towards the ceiling, inhaling. On your exhale, spine's going to reach back behind you. Press your palms out in front of you. So we're going to take a few more like that. Inhale, arms reach up and cactus. Heart reaches forward. Exhale, press your hands away from you. Spine reaches back. A few more just like this. Inhale, seated cow. Exhale, seated cat. Just taking it really slow, especially if you're taking this flow and you're already feeling a little under the weather. Just realizing you can always do things differently or say no, but just being very gentle with your body. And then on your next exhale, hands come down beside you. Nice tall spine. And the feet are going to reach out in front of you. We're coming to a seated forward fold, but softening the knees. So toes are going to reach up towards the ceiling, but taking a deep bend in the knees. Hands come right by the hips. And instead of pressing down into your mat, pulling the belly button into spine and reaching the crown up until the elbows straighten. Keep it at length. Keeping the core pulled in, nice and engaged, just very gently, beginning to reach the heart forward. You can walk the hands using the mat to draw you forward, or maybe you're grabbing on the shins or the ankles or the toes, but finding that length, being very, very gentle. And if you want to, then you can begin to straighten the legs. If not, keep that deep bend. When you're as far forward as you can go, then on your next exhale, dropping your head down towards your legs. A few more breaths here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt in. Keeping that engagement, belly button to spine. Feeling the gentle stretch through the low back, through the hamstrings. And then on your next inhale, release your grip and roll up one vertebrae at a time. So especially if you're congested already, if you whip the head up real quick, that's going to give you a little bit of vertigo. So rolling back up, coming to a nice tall position again. Bend your right knee and bring your right foot in as close as you can. We're setting up for a seated twist here. And then cross your right foot over your left. You have the option to keep that left leg long, or if you'd like to, you can bend it, but making sure not to sit directly on the heel. So you don't want to use it like a block to give a little bump up to the hip. Both hips need to be down into the mat. Right hand's going to come as close as you can get it behind your glute, close to your spine. So you're just using this arm to keep length in the spine so you can release more into the twist instead of cranking the body. Left hand can come to the knee. You can take a bind or you can cross the elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground your right hip if it's popped back up. Inhale, lengthen. With your exhale, releasing through the base of the spine, just beginning to feel that twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, center of the spine, just sending it all the way up the torso. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, top of the spine. And then depending how the side of the left neck is feeling, you can continue that twist, looking over your right shoulder, or just keeping the neck in line with your spine. But really releasing into the twist, softening through the hips, softening through the belly, even the thighs and the knees, so they're not squeezing really tight. One more breath here. And then with your next exhale, release. Come back to center. Left foot comes out, right foot comes out, other side. Bend your left knee, bring it in as close as you can, and then cross it over. Different side, so you still have the option to keep the right leg long, or you can bend it. Left hand, how close can you get it to your glute, to your spine? Left hand to knee, bind, or elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground your left hip. Inhale, length. Exhale, beginning to twist to the very base of the spine, working all the way up. Inhale, length. Exhale, release through the center. Inhale, length. Exhale through the top. And then your choice again, continuing that twist, looking over your left shoulder, or just keeping the neck in line with spine. Softening though through the belly, through the legs, through the hips. Just working out any of those things in your system. You're just kind of giving the organs a gentle massage, just to kind of help them. On your next exhale, bringing your torso back to center. Right leg's going to come out. Left leg's going to come out. And then you're going to very gently lower yourself all the way down to your back. Walking the heels in, ankles underneath your knees as wide as your hips, hands by your side. Inhale, lift the hips. And that might be as far as you go today, and that's okay. You might grab a block or a pillow and place it right underneath those sits bones so you can hang out there for a moment. You can start on level 1, level 2. You can always go back down if you'd like to, or all the way up. But noticing how that kind of opens up through the chest. So if there's any congestion here, again, it might feel best just to stay on a low level because you are kind of in an inversion, and we don't want to let all of those sinuses get all backed up because you're letting everything run back down. So just being very gentle here. If it feels good though, maybe the feet come off the mat. You can play around with it and just kind of see how things are feeling. Or maybe they stay connected down, because as you lift those feet, even more pressure is going to come back down towards the head. Just very gently opening up the heart, opening up the chest. And very gently removing that block, if you've placed it, or a pillow or whatever it is. Walking the feet down and apart a little bit so they're as wide as your mat. With your exhale, both knees are going to go to the right, sending that stretch all the way down into the hips, down into the psoas. Inhale back through center. Exhale, other side. Both knees go to the left. You might do that a few more times. Just walking those knees, not walking, but letting them fall from one side to the other. Just beginning to warm up through the hips, or let some fluids move more through the body. And then very gently, you're going to bring those knees over the hips and bring the arms out to the side. You might just cactus the arms. Might feel good just to bring the hands in closer. And with your exhale, both knees are going to go to the right. So you're rolling onto the right hip, taking a little bit deeper of a twist into the belly. If it feels good, you can look over to the left palm. Just hanging out here for a few moments. Then inhale those knees back through center, and exhale, you're going to roll over onto your left hip. I've got to roll over a little bit further here so I'm not landing on my mic pack. And with your exhale, maybe you look over to your right hand or shoulder. Or you can keep looking up towards the ceiling, just noticing how you're feeling, working out all these things in your body. Inhale, knees come back to center. And then you can roll over onto one side or the other and gently press yourself up. You're going to grab a pillow or a bunch of blankets or anything that feels good. Just for some extra little cushion here, we're going to take a reclining fish or a supported fish, but with just those pillows. And it's up to you how many pillows or blankets or things that you use. But it's going to come to the base of your spine, and then you're going to lay all the way back. So you're kind of supported and propped open again. But this time the hips aren't lifted like in bridge. And then just letting those palms come down beside you. Maybe you let the toes kind of open up. But noticing that opening again you feel through the heart, through the chest. Again, if at all the sinuses or any kind of drainage gets a little bit too intense, you don't have to stay here. And then we're going to spend our Shavasana here. But today it's going to be bringing a little bit more thought into our Shavasana. So we're not just breathing, but I want you to send some good thoughts or good energy or prayers or whatever you feel comfortable doing just into your body. So you're sending those thoughts or prayers beginning at your toes, feeling it work its way up through your legs, into your hips, just surrounding them with some love and some peace. Just an extra little bit to help them get through. Up through the body, the core, and the low back, into the heart space. I know especially when things are hard emotionally or when we're not feeling too well physically, we can get stuck in this cycle of feeling like, oh, I'm never going to feel better, or things are never going to get better. We don't want to stay in that place. So just feeling this opening through the heart and bringing it to that heart space, mind space. Moving it all the way up through your body, feeling it go all the way out through the top of your head, through your fingertips. Maybe you just give yourself a little smile here. Letting the emotions catch up to what you're physically doing in your face. And then very gently bending your knees, and you're going to roll onto one side or the other off of those pillows or blankets, moving them out of the way. And we're going to take one other final inversion. Knees are going to come over your belly, and you're going to reach the feet straight up towards the ceiling, toes pointing back behind you. So we're coming into a waterfall here. And taking just a little bit of movement, maybe through the fingers, through the wrists, through the toes. Just noticing how that feels. Again, if this inversion feels a little bit too intense on your sinuses, you're welcome to come out of it or just say no to it at any point. And you're welcome to stay and hang out here as long as you'd like. Sometimes this is a very comfortable space to be. Just bringing our awareness to something else. And then bending your knees, soles of the feet are going to come down to the mat, rolling over onto one side or the other, and pressing yourself up back to a seated position. Just noticing how you're feeling. Noticing if physically you feel a little bit more centered or grounded, or emotionally. But those are just a couple short postures that you can take to kind of give your immune system a little boost. No matter if you're feeling not too well in your physical body or not, maybe it's your emotional body that you're needing to give a little boost to. But we're all here together, in this together. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all, this is a community. This is a time for us to come together and support each other. So shoot me a message. Inhale the arms up overhead, and exhale hands down through heart center. Grateful to yourself for the things you are able to do, and grateful to yourself for the things you're not able to do. Just even noticing the things that you're not able to do, being okay with that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Blessings and namaste.